My name is Shane Kim. I'm the Corporate Vice President of Microsoft Game Studios. A lot of luck, actually. I've been at Microsoft for 16 and a half years. The first 5 years of that I was spent in a couple different business jobs. Sorry, I'm a business guy. Marketing and business development. And at that time, I started working in business development with the Games Group, right about the time that Ed Freeze started. And Ed and I worked together for 8 years until he decided to retire, and I took over MGS. So I was really lucky way back when, 11 and a half years ago now, that I got to start with the Games Group at Microsoft. Okay, I'd have to say it's the guy who, is Jeff Rakes, who's one of the presidents of a division at Microsoft. He's the guy who actually made the hire decision for me when I was interviewing to be a summer intern. In between years of business school at Microsoft, I didn't know anything about Microsoft. I didn't know the difference between an operating system and an application at that time. But my friend said, "Hey, Microsoft's a great company. You should go talk to them." I ended up interviewing with them and being a summer intern, getting hired full time, and the rest is history. I love this business. I'm going to say two things. Sorry, for a business guy, it's an awesome business because it's super competitive. It's very high risk, very high reward, and that's great and that's challenging. Second thing, though, is it's entertainment. I get to work with amazing creative talent all the time, and we're trying to, as part of the business, make bets on the things that we think are going to be huge hits. And when it happens with a Halo or Gears of War, there's no better feeling. And certainly, when you add the business success with that, that helps a ton. Making a game is an artistic process. It's a piece of art that we're trying to create, and the process of making it is an art form itself. And so you really have to have a great idea, compelling idea come together with the amazing talent behind that. And it sounds trivial, but the marriage of design, technology, and art, just on the development side, along with a great idea that actually customers will care about, is not trivial, especially when you're trying to shoot as high as we are. As a first party on our platforms, we have to make titles that make a difference. And so what makes a title successful is when you can get all of that chemistry going and it actually turns out to realize all the potential that you saw way back 2-3 years ago when you were greenlighting it. All of those pieces not coming together. Again, it really is an artistic process, and so many times in our history we've heard about great ideas, from people who have pretty good track records, or strong teams where the idea is just not that great, or even where the idea and the team looks like it's really good, but for whatever reason, when they're in the development and production process, it's much harder today than it used to be too. Development and design and art just couldn't come together, and you need all three legs of that triangle to work. I really challenge the industry to focus on how we're going to move the industry forward. Innovation, creativity, taking chances. I think we've become way too dependent on sequels and licenses. I think customers are eventually going to get very tired of that. I think they already are getting tired of that. It's no different than the movie business. So, the movie business can't continue to just make movies based on old television shows, and we can't continue to make games just based on licenses and sequels and so forth. So we've got to continue to take risks. We've got to figure out how we're going to expand the audience. I really do applaud Nintendo for what they're trying to do with Wii. We're trying to do the same thing with our partnership with Peter Jackson. Those are the kinds of things that I think we have to do as an industry if we really want to become a mainstream form of entertainment. There's so many people love our business, and I think the main thing, and I think this is true for any profession or anything that you want to do when you grow up, you've got to be really passionate about it. You've got to really care about what it is that you're doing. And I believe that if you can demonstrate that passion, whether it's in programming or it's in marketing, that's the best way to break into the business, because that passion is really going to lead you to take the steps that you need to take, which is, hey, I got to go stand, I'm going to go sit on the doorstep of Shane Kim's office, and I'm just going to continue to harangue him, assuming he can get there. I'm going to continue to harangue him because that's what I care so much about. And obviously there's other ways to do it, but really being passionate and following that interest and that passion, I think, is the best way to be successful whatever you want to do. Yeah. My favorite book of all time is Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged. And I read that when I was in high school, and I've actually reread it a couple times. It's a huge book. It's over 1,000 pages, I think. It's been a while since I read it, but it really struck a chord with me when I was growing up about the importance of self-reliance and making your own way. and not relying on other people, not letting other people drag you down. And there's a famous character in that book named John Galt. The question is always, who is John Galt, et cetera, et cetera. And he's at the center of the story. But it's been a story that's helped shape me in a lot of different ways. What I believe is important, what I think, how I think I should conduct myself. And so anyway, that's my favorite book of all time. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better husband. I've got 2 kids. I've got a wonderful wife who has supported me through my entire career. She went to business school with me. She's as well educated and a lot smarter than I am, and yet she's been the one who has taken the lead in raising our kids. And that there's a trade-off there, and certainly our family works real well together in terms of understanding that. But I look forward to the time when I can give a lot more back to my family. That would be a big accomplishment for me. I would love to be a professional golfer. That's one of my favorite hobbies. I think those guys got the greatest lives. Of course, I'd like to be a really good professional golfer. That helps, I think, a lot too. So, I love playing golf, and if I could be paid to do that and actually be successful, that'd be a cool thing. Well, it's probably, thanks to you and other people in the press, it's well documented that I get a little motion sickness going. So probably being like a jet fighter pilot, not a good thing. Never had a desire to go up in an F-16 as a passenger, right? That's not my idea of fun. Put me on a golf course, I'll be happy there. Boy, this is going to date me, and hopefully people will still think I'm cool. But I've been a U2 fan since I was pretty young, and really that's still my favorite band of all time. See them in concert wherever I can, whenever I can. So I'd say Bono, The Edge, all those guys. That's my favorite artist. Probably most people don't know that I played volleyball at Stanford when I was in college, which was a thrill. I played back in the time when I was a freshman. Karch Kiraly was a senior at UCLA, and of course Karch is one of the greats in that sport, and has really elevated the visibility of that sport. So Karch was a man amongst boys when we played there, but the thrill of playing at Pauley Pavilion against teams that I watched growing up in high school, and I'm sure nobody would have thought that I did that. I'm not a big believer in needing to use swear words consistently to have an impact. That's certainly not my style, but I would be lying if I said I didn't fall prey to using the occasional swear word. Red. I have no idea. I got a card that tells me. Yeah, well, again, this dates me, but I'll put it on YouTube. Usually I'm in meetings, so I can't have music going on. But when I'm working out, it's a lot of YouTube, it's a lot of Coldplay. Sort of that kind of music, which is hopefully still cool enough. When I do play, it really revolves around playing with my kids, especially my son, and we love to play sports games together. Madden. We still dial up the old NFL fever as well. We played Cars from THQ. A good buddy of mine runs Cranky Pants up in Seattle, so I get all the THQ titles from him. He loves his DS, and actually my daughter loves to play his DS as well. So they're playing Dogs. They're playing The Sims as well. So it's fun to get in there with them and watch them really enjoy what we do as a living. That's pretty interesting.